All right, just an update on things going on. I finished farm sitting for 3 days, and during that time, I had to constantly call the farmers because just like one little issue, one little mini crisis after another that they would have to advise me about. But nothing huge or anything, no huge problems. So, and there was this new puppy that followed me around the whole time through all my farm chores. And then when my friend got back, the dog even chased us down the road, like running at full speed. So it's at that age where it has no fear, and it's just like pure enthusiasm. But the problem is that it's bonded to humans more than the sheep. It's supposed to be a sheepdog, so they're not going to be able to sell it as a sheepdog, probably. I don't know. And the car still has a misfire, and I cleaned out the cylinder 6 spark plug well again last night, and there was still some, I think it's molybdenum was still in there, some more molybdenum. It could just be oil, but it's not a lot. But they thought maybe it's an ignition coil was not good, but I got a new ignition coil, and that had no effect. So but then I ordered these repair kits for the trailing arm brackets, the upper rear trailing arm or lateral arm, control arm. Those are the 3 names for it. Usually they just call it trailing arm, but I think technically it's a control arm or lateral arm. So the welder farmer, he pointed that out to me. He's like, well, these gotta be replaced. And then he's like, you mean there's a repair kit for those? And I'm like, yeah. So it was a good deal, because I'm like, if I order the repair kit, would you weld it for me? He's like, yeah. So that's exciting to get that, if I can get that fixed. And then he still has to weld the other repair kit on the frame, the actual chassis frame. He has to prep it. So he might do that this weekend if I get the repair kits in time. And as far as the research goes, the difference between the spin and the relativity and the quantum non-locality, I've been reading Professor Basil J. Hiley, one of his recent papers, and he goes into this more. It's really fascinating about how non-commutativity goes beyond the uncertainty principle in physics, in quantum physics. And essentially, it just comes down to negative frequency. as negative resonance. And with what Dirac did is he converted that back into negative energy. But if you just use non-commutativity, then you can stay in just having negative frequency. And that's just a simple secret that that I had, figured out when I was 16 years old, and led me into non-Western or Pythagorean meditation and Taoist meditation and yoga and the formless awareness, so it's all based on listening and logic and harmony, and the law of phase harmony is just from this negative frequency. So that's what spin comes from, that concept. It's just like a mathematical concept that got covered up in order to create materialistic science. So now we're all caught up in this materialistic reality where we're trying to fix everything all the time, but nature fixes itself. Nature self-heals due to this, what Roger Penrose calls negative resonance. So that's all I'm going to say. Thanks. Oh, and I might be having a book deal lining up soon. I'm talking to the publisher like tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. But that's the music math details that I've figured out. We'll just get it out there in a published book form. And thanks everybody for taking interest in my research and trying out the meditation. And I encourage people to get the Small Universe meditation CD from Spring Forest Qigong, and you can just practice that if you have any free time, but it's hard to come by. So most people spend their free time just like watching TV or just chit-chatting or whatever, so that's all right. Anyway, thanks.